Do you have a pet? Well, let me ask you this. How strong are you? And I don't mean physically, I mean emotionally. Because anyone who keeps and loves a pet is eventually and unfortunately going to face great sorrow and pain in their life. And that's because our pet's longevity is much shorter than our own. And so anyone that keeps and loves a pet is going to face that pain. And I want you to know that I can help you with that pain. It's what I do. People outlive their pets by quite a few years, and the inevitable is, well, inevitable. They're going to pass. And we all know that. And we all dread the day that that happens. So why do we keep submitting ourselves to that pain? Why do we keep getting pets and bringing them into our homes over and over and over again? I believe the answer is because the joy and the love that they bring into our lives, these wonderful personalities that we call pets, it just makes it all worth it. If you haven't known the love of a pet, you've missed out on life. But if losing a pet is not bad enough, more often than not, we have to help them pass over. Now, a lot of elderly dogs pass away on their own as they sleep. But 80% of elderly dogs, the studies show, need help passing over. They need to look to their humans to help them do that and to make that horrible decision for them. What emotional trauma it brings us to have a pet pass away. But to have to help end their lives, well, that's just crushing grief and sorrow that we didn't expect. And I can tell you something else that's inevitable. When you put a beloved pet down, inevitably, you're going to be smothered by feelings of guilt. You're just going to be overwhelmed. Thousands of my readers have contacted me seeking help with that overwhelming sense of guilt that they feel for having put their pet down. Some are so despondent and so desperate and so depressed that I have to hook them up with a suicide hotline. I've had to do that many times, and it helps. And I know exactly what they are enduring, having had made that decision myself several times in my life. It's just crushing. Making the decision to let a pet go, to help them cross over to the next life, it just requires a tremendous amount of emotional strength. And it takes a great toll on you stress-wise. I broke out in sweat and in tears trying to make that decision. I was sure that there was no greater pain than having to make that decision and then following through to put my pet down. But I was wrong. Because after my pet was gone, I felt even worse pain. Should I have waited longer? I just started questioning myself. Was the vet right with his diagnosis that they'd not get better? Did I do everything possible to help her? Should I have tried this? Should I have tried that? Should I have done something else? And it didn't take long for those doubts to turn into guilt. I held myself in contempt, convinced that I didn't wait long enough, that I could have done more. I held myself responsible. I should have been able to do something more, anything more. But the truth for me and for you is that I did everything that I possibly could. I would have done anything in my power, even giving them part of my own life, a few years off my life if it was possible. But the fact is, it was out of my hands at a certain point. We can do just so much to protect our animals. We get them regular checkups, take them to the vet, get the shots. We can feed them the right food. We can safeguard our homes and our yards to make sure that they're safe. We can give them plenty of exercise and make them happy. We can take them to the vets when they're feeling bad and so on and so forth. But it comes to a point that anything beyond that is out of our power. And even though we know that, we still feel guilt. We still feel second guessing when it comes to putting them down. We still wonder if we could have done more. And my suggestion to you, because if you're feeling the same guilt that I felt, one suggestion that I have followed myself and to get myself peace of mind is trust the moment. Let me say that again. Trust the moment. By that I mean don't second guess your decision. Remember how things were when you had to make that decision. You didn't want to do it, but you knew you had to. The vet told you that it was the end of the line, that there was no hope for your pet, that they were just going to get worse and suffer more, and the pain was going to get more intense. And so you were forced by facts and circumstances to make that horrible decision. So trust that moment. It just horrified you to make the decision. I know that. But in love, you stepped up and you did what you had to do. You made that decision. You put self aside just to stop the suffering and the pain for your animal. and you dug down deep and found the strength to help. Your best friend needed for you to be strong, and you were. Now, long after the fact, divorced from the emotions of that moment, you allow yourself to rethink the facts and you question if you did everything that you could possibly do. You start playing the what-if game. Boy, humans are so prone to doing that. Don't allow yourself to play the what-if game. Don't second-guess your decision. You trust that moment. Think back. You were just in a corner and you had to do what was right. Remember how it was and how you had no choice. You selflessly took your heart and you put it on a shelf. You stepped up and you did what your best friend needed you to do. Don't add guilt to your grief. You have nothing to feel guilty about. You would have done anything you could. In fact, you did everything that you could. The rest was out of your hands. So trust that moment. Let it go. And don't ever let go of the thought of that moment. You did what you had to do to help your best friend. Look, I hope this has helped you. If you have more questions or you want to comment on this, please do drop some comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to respond and help you with any other thoughts you might have. Trust the moment.